was one of those things where in the 60s, everybody you knew became famous, because I used to share a flat with Vidal Sassoon and get my hair cut by him. He was just a barber.
Famed actor Michael Caine shocked viewers like never before. What was meant to be a friendly chat on a morning talk show quickly turned explosive.
It was just a little bit, it was one of those, I don't think he particularly liked the movie that he was promoting, and he just wasn't really happy.
Leaving everyone on edge. What triggered this unexpected clash, and how did Michael really feel? Stick around as we break down one of the most shocking walkouts in daytime TV history. What transpired? The day began like any other at the ITV studios. Michael Caine, legendary for his Cockney accent and proud working-class roots, had agreed to appear on Lorraine Kelly's morning show to discuss his latest film. At 90 years old, Caine had lived a life full of experiences, from South London's tough streets to Hollywood's glittering heights. He expected a light, cheerful conversation, the kind that morning television usually offered. Lorraine Kelly, smiling warmly, welcomed him in her familiar practiced style. With her usual warmth and energy, she greeted the audience and announced her very special guest, the legendary Michael Caine. Turning to him, she asked, "Michael, with a career that has spanned over 6 decades, what is it that still drives you, even at this stage of your life?" Caine leaned forward, his eyes alight with the passion that had carried him through decades in film. He told Lorraine that his drive had never wavered. Growing up in humble surroundings in South London, he never forgot his roots. For him, every role he took on, every story he helped bring to life, was about ordinary people, and that, he said, was what kept him going all these years. At first, Kelly nodded politely, but it didn't take long for her expression to change. With a sharper tone, she remarked on Caine's famous rise from humble beginnings, hinting that with all his success, he might feel far removed from those early days. Caine straightened in his chair, his response measured but firm. Success, he explained, hadn't distanced him at all. In fact, it made him value his roots even more. Experiencing real poverty and struggle had shaped him, and those lessons didn't vanish with fame. Kelly's smile tightened, her next question striking a little harder. She pointed out his life of luxury, multi-million-pound homes, private jets, rubbing shoulders with the elite, and suggested that holding onto a working-class image might seem disingenuous. The studio went quiet. Caine's voice stayed steady, controlled, but his words carried weight. He wasn't holding on to anything, he said. He was speaking honestly. The hardships his family faced, the struggles he had overcome, and the lessons he had learned were all part of who he was, and nothing could erase them. Caine's response was measured but sharp as he highlighted the real meaning of authenticity. Remembering your roots, honoring those who supported you, and staying true to your values, even when others dismiss your story. The conversation escalated. Caine asked pointed questions in return, challenging Lorraine directly. Had she ever gone to bed hungry, watched her mother cry because she couldn't feed you, or been looked down on because of where you came from? His words landed like a hammer. The crew, the cameras, everyone in the studio could feel the gravity of the moment. Lorraine tried to steer the discussion back to his current projects, but Caine refused to back down. Calm yet resolute, he made it clear that this wasn't about an interview. It was about respect, dignity, and never forgetting the struggles that shape a person. Then, in a moment that would be remembered for years on daytime television, Caine stood slowly, removed his microphone, and delivered a line that pierced through the tension. "Good luck with the rest of your show, Lorraine. I hope someday you learn the difference between entertainment and exploitation." The words hung in the silent studio, leaving everyone, crew, audience, and Lorraine herself, stunned by the weight of his statement. He left the studio, his footsteps echoing in the sudden silence, leaving Lorraine looking shocked and the audience stunned. In just a few minutes, a normal interview had turned into a strong statement about being real, showing respect, and remembering the experiences that shape us. But was Michael Caine always this way in interviews, or did Lorraine strike a nerve? A different side on screen. Michael Caine has always been honest about his remarkable journey, from a working-class boy in South London to one of Hollywood's most celebrated actors. He shared that story once again on Fresh Air with Dave Davies, discussing his memoir, The Elephant to Hollywood. But this time, his approach was completely different from the tense encounter with Lorraine Kelly. Calm, composed, and reflective, he narrated his story with the wisdom of someone who's truly lived it. Caine began acting in community theater and never looked back. Coming from a lower-class neighborhood, he didn't think about escaping his world. He simply aimed higher. In his own words, when there's nowhere else to go but up, you just keep climbing. His journey wasn't just about fame. It was about determination, resilience, and staying true to oneself. Growing up with a thick Cockney accent, Caine knew theater wasn't made for people like him. Leading roles for working-class actors barely existed, except for a few exceptions like Eliza Doolittle in Pygmalion. But then writers like John Osborne emerged, opening doors. Against the odds, Caine found a way to play lead roles, and ironically, his first major film attention came from playing a very posh officer in Zulu. Even as he thrived, Caine battled stage fright. On the first nights, he often felt like vomiting before going on stage. He shares a powerful insight. You become what you are afraid of. Shy as a child, he became an actor to face his fears, essentially turning fear into courage. Caine credits his acting technique to Stanislavski's advice. The rehearsal is the work. The performance is relaxing. For movies, he rehearses until acting becomes second nature, so he can fully become his character. His rule of movie acting is simple: make the audience forget the actor exists. In his words, if people notice the actor, you've failed. In the theater, it's different. Acting is meant to shine. One of his breakthrough roles was Alfie, which made him an international star and earned him an Oscar nomination. In the film, Caine's character Alfie charmingly manipulates women while speaking directly to the audience, a move that made the movie unforgettable. He even laughs recalling the film today, showing his fondness for that Cockney accent, which had to be re-recorded for American audiences because they couldn't understand it. Caine also points out a quirky detail in Alfie. Midway through, Alfie refers to a woman he's just been involved with as "it," a line that has intrigued audiences for decades. From a shy child hiding behind curtains to an actor commanding the world's attention, Michael Caine's story is one of courage, perseverance, and unforgettable talent. But he has never forgotten his humble beginnings. Michael Caine said he actually enjoys that image of being approachable and down to earth because, as he put it, "It's exactly me." He explained that despite his fame and knighthood, he's always seen himself as an ordinary bloke who happens to have an extraordinary job. He said he treats everyone the same, whether it's a driver, a film director, or a fan, until their behavior tells him otherwise. Caine added that this attitude comes from his upbringing in South London, where respect and humility were ingrained values. He never forgot his working-class roots, even after decades in Hollywood. That's why people find him easy to relate to. He talks like someone you could have a pint with, not like a distant movie star. He admitted that being recognized everywhere can sometimes be overwhelming, but he never considers it a burden. Instead, he feels grateful that audiences still care about his work after so many years. "It means I did something right," he said. When asked if it ever got tiring to live up to his nice guy reputation, Michael Caine simply laughed, saying, "No, I've always been myself. That's the easiest role to play." Caine has always been calm, composed, and gracious in interviews, just like he was on Fresh Air with Dave Davies. But his encounter with Lorraine Kelly was different. Something about that interview pushed him in a way he rarely experienced. Was it Lorraine's style as a host, or did she strike a nerve that no one else ever had? Lorraine Kelly's attitude. When you tune into Lorraine Kelly on her ITV show Lorraine, one thing immediately stands out: her warmth, charm, and genuine interest in the people she hosts. Lorraine isn't just reading questions from a script. She has a natural talent for making her guests feel comfortable, almost as if they're catching up with an old friend. This ability to create a relaxed and trusting environment is part of what has made her show such a long-running success. Her interviews have a very friendly and engaging feel. She often starts with light-hearted, playful banter, easing any tension and encouraging her guests to open up naturally. This conversational approach not only leads to more personal and revealing discussions, but also allows viewers at home to connect with the guest on a human level, seeing sides of them that go beyond the headlines or film roles. But Lorraine's warmth doesn't stop with conversation. Her show is a mix of celebrity interviews, lifestyle tips, fashion trends, and heartwarming stories. She's particularly known for being inclusive, giving a platform to diverse voices, including the LGBTQ+ community, and covering topics that matter to everyday people. This sense of inclusivity makes her show relatable and accessible, appealing to a wide audience across the UK. What makes Lorraine truly special, however, is her authenticity. She's candid about her personal life, often sharing stories about her family, her experiences as a grandmother, or reflections on her career journey. This transparency helps viewers feel like they're getting to know the real Lorraine, not just a TV personality, but a genuine, relatable human being. In short, Lorraine Kelly's hosting style is a masterclass in warmth, relatability, and inclusivity. She knows how to make guests feel valued, creating moments that are memorable, heartfelt, and often entertaining. Even the most experienced hosts can have tricky moments. During an interview with Michael Caine, Lorraine Kelly apparently stepped slightly out of her usual friendly character, hinting at some tension or maybe even a little beef between them. This was unusual for a show normally known for its warm, easygoing vibe. So what could really be going on between these two? The growing tension. Over the years, Michael Caine wasn't just a one-time guest on Lorraine Kelly's ITV show. He returned multiple times. Each appearance was highly anticipated by viewers. Every interview promised stories from his incredible career, behind-the-scenes anecdotes, and a glimpse of the man behind the iconic roles. Lorraine Kelly, with her warm, friendly, and approachable style, made him feel comfortable, welcomed, and even a little playful. She listened attentively, laughed with him, and asked questions that brought out sides of Michael Caine most people never got to see. Yet behind the smiles and laughter, a subtle tension had been quietly brewing. Lorraine Kelly is known for her strong public support of social causes, including LGBTQ rights. Michael Caine, on the other hand, is famously candid. He speaks his mind, and he doesn't necessarily align himself with every public cause. This difference in perspective, though subtle, created a quiet undercurrent each time he appeared on the show. On camera, everything looked smooth. Behind the scenes, however, a small friction was growing. One particularly revealing moment came when Lorraine asked Michael about the gay roles he had played over the years. Michael responded honestly. He explained that while he had taken on a few gay roles, he didn't actively support LGBTQ causes in his personal life. Simple, straightforward, honest, true to himself. But for Lorraine, who passionately champions these causes, his answer may have been difficult to hear. For her, it didn't match the enthusiastic support she hoped for. And while viewers at home might have seen nothing more than a polite professional interview behind the scenes, this was another layer of tension quietly building over the years. Remember, this wasn't his first visit, and it certainly wouldn't be his last. Michael had been on Lorraine's show multiple times, each visit carrying a little more unspoken tension. Lorraine's warm, probing questions met Michael's blunt honesty. Small disagreements, differences in perspective, and quiet friction slowly accumulated, like pressure building inside a pot, waiting to boil over. Every time he returned to the show, it added to this silent tension, even if the cameras never showed it. Then came the day that would make headlines. That day, Michael Caine walked out. Viewers at home were stunned. One moment, he was sitting comfortably on the sofa, sharing stories, laughing with Lorraine. Next, he stood up and left, calm, composed, but unmistakably frustrated. There was no shouting, no public argument, just a sudden, dramatic exit. It was shocking, because Michael Caine is known for his professionalism, for keeping composure no matter the situation. But for those who understood the background, this moment was not sudden. It was the result of years of quiet tension, differing personal beliefs, and a clash of personalities that finally reached a tipping point. This incident is a reminder that even the most polished and professional stars are human. Even in a show known for warmth, friendliness, and laughter, honest opinions can collide with expectations. Michael's walkout wasn't just drama, it was a rare glimpse into the human side of celebrity life. It was about personality clashes, differences in beliefs, and the pressure of maintaining politeness while trying to stay true to oneself. Michael Caine's many visits to Lorraine Kelly's show showed a mix of charm, quiet tension, and a very human moment that left viewers both surprised and curious. But now that we've looked at his actions and what might have caused the walkout, let's see what Michael Caine has been doing recently. The passage of time. Michael Caine is a name that has become synonymous with British cinema, a legendary actor whose career has spanned over 7 decades, from the iconic Zulu to The Italian Job, and more recently films like Dunkirk and Kingsman: The Secret Service. Caine has given audiences unforgettable performances that have earned him 2 Oscars and a place in film history. But even legends like Michael Caine face the passage of time. At 92 years old, Caine has experienced some physical challenges, including the need for mobility aids after breaking his ankle in 2018. These limitations played a part in his decision to retire from acting after his role in The Great Escaper, a heartfelt 2023 film that many expected would be his final bow on the big screen. In The Great Escaper, Caine plays Bernard Jordan, a real-life Royal Navy veteran who made headlines when he escaped his care home in East Sussex to attend the 70th anniversary of D-Day celebrations in Normandy. The film also starred the late Glenda Jackson and John Standing. Caine's on-screen relationship with Jackson was notable, as the two had first worked together on The Romantic Englishwoman. While they got along well professionally, Caine has joked about their political differences, noting that Jackson, a Labour MP for more than 20 years, would probably not have mixed socially with him because he comes from a wealthy background and supports making money. After completing The Great Escaper, Caine considered his future carefully. He told the BBC's Today program that he wanted to end his career on a high note. "The only parts I'm likely to get now are 90-year-old men. They're not going to be the lead," he said. He even recounted how he once turned down a script because the role was too small, realizing he had only 15 pages of dialogue in a 99-page script. "I think that counts as a small part. I'm not doing it, so I retired," he said. Yet true to form, Michael Caine's retirement has not been quite so final. Reports suggest he is making a U-turn to appear in the sequel to The Last Witch Hunter, proving that even at 92, Caine is not quite ready to leave acting entirely. Over the years, he has made it clear that what matters most to him is choosing roles that feel meaningful and satisfying, rather than simply working for work's sake. Beyond acting, Caine has also flourished as a writer. In 2024, he published his 3rd memoir, Don't Look Back, You'll Trip Over: My Guide to Life, sharing reflections from his incredible journey both on and off the screen. This followed earlier books filled with trivia, stories, and personal insights, revealing a thoughtful, humorous, and deeply human side of the actor that fans adore. Caine's personal life remains full and active as well. He has been happily married to his wife, Shakira, and is a devoted grandfather to 2 grandchildren. He also maintains a long-standing friendship with Vin Diesel, whom he has known for 30 years. The pair is reportedly collaborating on an independent project titled Mark and Maurice, showing that Caine's creative energy continues to drive him forward, whether in acting, writing, or producing. Reflecting on his retirement, Caine has acknowledged that he has had an extraordinary career. He has appeared in over 130 films, from early classics like Alfie and Sleuth to modern hits directed by Christopher Nolan. He has won Oscars for Hannah and Her Sisters and The Cider House Rules, and his performances have left a lasting impression on audiences worldwide. Yet he has always remained grounded, often speaking candidly about his humble beginnings and his belief in working hard, earning, and living a full life. Even as he steps back, Caine's career offers a lesson in knowing when to bow out gracefully, yet also in embracing opportunities that continue to excite and inspire him. Retirement for Caine has been flexible, as he has shown that leaving on a high note doesn't necessarily mean stopping completely. It can mean choosing your battles, picking meaningful roles, and continuing to engage with the things you love. In short, Michael Caine remains a living legend. His story is one of talent, determination, and passion, showing us that age is no barrier to creativity or ambition. Whether he's gracing the screen in a major film, sharing his life lessons through his books, or quietly enjoying family life, Caine continues to captivate, inspire, and remind us why he is one of Britain's most cherished actors. As his fans, all we can do is watch eagerly to see what he does next, because with Michael Caine, the end of the story is never certain. But it does make you wonder, what could have sparked the tension between him and Lorraine on her show? Share your thoughts in the comments below.